What's going on, guys? Dan Kale here from Liquidation Pros, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about how to price your liquidation pallets or your liquidation lots that you are looking to purchase, and get an idea of what you should be paying for these lots. One of the number one questions I get from people is how much do I pay for a lot? What percentage should I pay? If it's a $10,000 lot, should I pay 1,000, 2,000? And all those questions, while they're good, there's a lot of other information you got to take into account, and we're going to go over all that in this video. So I appreciate you guys stopping in to check out the channel. If you haven't done so, please consider subscribing. And once again, my name is Dan Kale. I'm with Liquidation Pros. So let me go ahead and share my screen with you. So there's obviously many factors to understanding what you should be paying for a liquidation lot. For instance, like, what is the actual resale value? So you have, what liquidators will do is they'll give you the total MSRP. So normally that's the highest, like retail, it's not on sale. This is like what the manufacturer recommends the item is worth or should sell for. Some discount stores may sell the item for a little bit less, like a Walmart or a Costco. Some will charge full retail, but they do sales. Someone like Macy's might always have the full retail value for an item, but then you can walk in and normally get 40, 30, 20% off coupons. They're always running deals to make you feel like you're getting a better deal. So what I'm calling that is the less of a percentage for the actual resale value. So if it's a $100 item, but it's actually only selling for around 80, if it's $100 new and on eBay it's going for around $80 new, well, that's a 20% discount. So that would be where that comes into play. The other thing you will need to consider with liquidation is you're going to get a lot of products that are open. Someone opened it, decided, oh, it doesn't fit, or it's not for me, or it's not the right color, or maybe they got it and just had a change of mind. We call that buyer's remorse. They no longer want the item, so they're going to send it back or take it to the store. So those items are what we're going to call like an open box item or a used item. It may have a little bit of damage or a little bit of markings on it that would be used, but it's still a perfectly good item. So you'll have a certain percentage in a liquidation lot that is going to be in that category. And those items are going to sell for even less than the new ones. So normally, on average, you'd say about 20% off of that. So in that case of the $100 item that's selling on eBay for 80, if you take another 20% off of that, that would be $16 off, so about $64. So that's your discount for now the item is used or open box. And that's pretty standard among the liquidation business, what to expect. And then you're also going to have to consider how much loss, or items that are so damaged that they can't even be sold, they're broken, it was a glass item, or something plastic broke. There's not even any value at all. This item needs to be either thrown away or recycled. That is your overall loss in the lot. So you can't even sell it for parts, meaning you will get absolutely $0 for this. This item is trash. A good rule of thumb for that is around 10%. Normally 1 out of 10 items is absolutely worthless. Not in all lots. Obviously, all this is going to depend on who you're buying from. And the more you buy from someone, the more familiar you'll get with these percentages. And then the last thing is, what percentage of items are so cheap that you're barely going to get any of your money back? So, for instance, like a $2 item or a $5 item, well, they're so cheap you can't sell them on eBay because of shipping. People just don't want to pay that. The item's just so low in value, you're just going to kind of have to write off as a loss. You may be able to bundle them up or do like a flea market or yard sale to kind of sell them for cheap for $1 or $2 to get some of your money back. But ultimately, for those super cheap low dollar items, you're going to have a general loss, like a line item that's going to be for a loss because the item is so cheap that you can't even sell it. So sometimes if you're dealing with like grocery, you'll get a lot of these items where it's a canned good or something like that, or a box of crackers, or just to give you a few examples. That's not an item you're really going to be able to sell online. It's just too cheap. And then if it was, they're saying it's valued at $5, but good luck trying to sell a canned good at a yard sale for $5. You may get 50 cents for it. So you're going to have, 1 out of 10 items that are just too cheap. And this also is going to depend lot for lot. So this is just a general, very basic overview of what to expect. So putting in these totals that I put in, it was a $10,000 lot. Now any of these gray areas you see here, I can change. So I could change this to it's an $8,000 lot, and then it will change all the amounts. But to keep it simple, for simple math, to kind of explain it, we're going to stick with the $10,000 lot. And you'll see as you go down, it's taking a value off of this MSRP and subtracting it. So that's going to give you, what's going to end up happening is it's going to give you what we'll call the 1/3 buy-in percentage. So the way most online sellers, it's kind of like a unwritten rule, I guess you'd say, is that you want to buy your items for no more than 1/3 of the cost. So you're basically saying, here's my purchase price. I want to be at 1/3, so 33%. I'm going to write off another 33% in fees, shipping, overhead, maybe some labor, maybe some supplies. So 1/3 of supplies and overhead, 1/3 of cost, and that's going to leave you with 1/3 profit. So my calculator here is set to do a 33% buy cost. So basically, after you factor all these losses in, with actually all these different losses, for this $10,000 lot, it's saying you should be at about 13. You're going to have about 13% is your buy cost. That's the percentage that's left, and it's going to be a potential purchase price of $1,333 with a potential profit of $1,333. So you see how it splits it up evenly. So if I was looking at a lot this was the MSRP, based on my experience, my research, I put my factors in, I would say to myself, after shipping and everything, I don't want to purchase this lot for more than $1,300 because I want to at least double my money when I sell everything, and that's going to be my potential profit here. Now what happens if, let's just say, this is like a Macy's lot, and like I said before with Macy's, they price their retail very high. Well, we would say, and on average, Macy's overprices their lots by about 40%. So a $100 item may only sell for $60. In some cases, it may only sell for like $40. So you really got to look at the items and I normally like to sample at least 10 to 20 items, do the research, figure out an average of how much it's overpriced, and then take that percentage and put in here. So we'll just say, for instance, that actual resale value is 40%. We'll change that to 40, and that's going to automatically adjust what your buying percentage should be. So for a $10,000 lot for Macy's, based on this information, I shouldn't pay more than $667 shipped to my house. But with Macy's stuff, there's not, say it's a new lot. Maybe it was all new items. Okay, well, we can change this. If everything in there is new, we're really not going to have any used or open box because it's clothing or what have you. So just to play around with the numbers, we'll change that to 0. But we also know there's a lot of items in Macy's lots that were too cheap to even sell. So we're going to say that this was actually 15%. And then you can see how everything changes. So you'd have to play around, and once you get comfortable with a retailer, you will ultimately, after you've done this for a while, you can kind of just do it in your head. For a specific retailer, I like to be at like 15% or 10%, or for other ones I might pay up as much as 30%, and that's based on experience, but then also like practicing with this, purchasing a lot, tracking the numbers, seeing how much profit you end up actually making after everything's all said and done, and then going back and remembering that the next time you buy from them. All right, so that gives you a pretty good idea of how this works. Let's go ahead and clear these out. And what I want to do is I want to show you a lot that I purchased on liquidation.com. Okay, so here's my liquidation.com account. This is actually the account. These are all purchases I've made recently. And then this is one of those purchases. So I won this bid for $250. It was a $5,170 lot. That, like I said, I got for $250. Now I did have to pay for shipping for that, and when that was all said and done, the total amount was $623. So that's what I paid to have it to my house after all fees for a $5,170 lot. So let's put that in the calculator and let's just kind of see how this works together. So the thing we know is that they're saying their MSRP value is, what did I just say? It was 51.70. So we put that in. So that's the 100%. This is if everything was brand new and I could sell it for that price, I would pay $1,700 because I know that, hey, it's going for the brand new MSRP, and this is what it costs. Simple math, you buy it for 1/3, you have 1/3 fees and 1/3 profit. But we know that that's not the case. There's all these other factors that come into play. So for this specific company that I'm dealing with here, which this is actually build.com, they're one of the bigger hardware and house, like home improvement type sites. They're a major wholesaler, online retailer. So with these guys, I know from experience that the average item sells for about 25% less on eBay. So what I'm going to do is I know right off the bat about 25% is how much less the items are worth. And what I'll do for that is if you click View Manifest here, you'll get a pop-up window. I think I already had it open, or actually I was looking at a different one earlier. So looking at this, I'm not sure if this is too small for you guys, but you should be able to see, it gives you a list of all the items that are included into the liquidation lot. And what I'll do is I'll just spot check a few of them. So I'll look up this model, and then I'll look that up on eBay. They're saying it's worth $38.99. So I'll go over and I'll look it up on eBay and see what people are charging on eBay. So I'm gonna put best match. So that's gonna be what eBay's recommending. So this guy's at 40, 43, 54, 51. This guy's at 30 plus shipping. Here's a guy at 20. So pretty much all over the place. But if I want to be competitive, I'm going to be running promoted listings, so I have to take that into account. I'm probably looking at about maybe like $34.95, even $29.95. There's a lot of this particular item. This is one of the main reasons I purchased this lot, is because if you look here, this one specific item, there's 56 and then another 34. So the majority of the lot is that item. But then there's also, for instance, this item. I talked about the low value items. This item here is only $277. 38 of them, total value $105. But since there are so many of them, these I can maybe do a bundle. These are probably just like a little door knob or door hinge. I may do a set of 4, set of 10 to sell those a little bit quicker. But let's look at another item. So what you would do with this item, so we said that one I think I can get, we'll say $29.95. So it's 39. We're going to divide that by 30. I'm sorry, we're going to put the 30 in is what we want to sell it for, and we're going to divide it by what they say it's worth. Okay, so it comes up with about 78%. So that's a 22% loss. So you take 100% minus this, and you get about 22%. Rough math. Actually, it's about 23. So for that first item, I'm at about 23% discount is what I'm going to get on eBay. I'm going to stay away from these bigger items. I could talk about those in another video. The reason being is these big items, like this bathtub, I'm going to sell that locally on like Facebook Marketplace. So I'm not going to have all those fees. So it's a little bit different the way you figure that math out. But in general, it's still, as a whole, when you figure out the percentage, it still works out for those items. Let's try this one, this Amerilock robe hook. So we'll take that information, we'll put it in eBay, and here's this guy's got it for 25. This one here is 20. Two people actually around 19, 36. I'm also top rated plus. I do fast and free shipping on an item like this, so probably around a $20 item. I keep clicking on the wrong tab. I need to click on this tab here. But they're saying this item's $35.99. So it's going to be a little bit more of a percentage loss on that one. Lost my calculator. So we're going to sell for 20, and it's going for 36. So that one's about a 45% loss. The difference of 100% minus 55 leaves me with 45%. So I had 25, 45. Now I know that some of these other ones, from my experience, I will actually get the same value or a little bit higher. I think I sold this quick set before, this model. It's a lever set for your door handle. So for another one, for this quick set passage lever set, you know, sometimes I will get more. Let me check this one. So they said this one's about $21 item. But if you look here on eBay, this one's 28, 24, 20 plus shipping, 45. So this one actually has more value. But from my experience from buying from this company several times, over 10 different lots, multiple, over 20 pallets worth of stuff, I found that around 25% is where I'm at for the less of the value. So if I go back to my lot estimator, I'm at 25%. Now there are a lot of open box items, not necessarily used, but it seems like a lot of times the customer just ordered the wrong color, or for whatever reason, they just, when they got it, it wasn't the right fit for their house, so they send it back. Now, what I've also found is the open box sells for similar value as the new item, so it's not that much of a loss on eBay. So in the case of for this site, I'm going to put it's a 10% discount there. And then now the amount of loss beyond repair for this stuff is very minimal. Sometimes there'll be like a mirror or something that's just so damaged you really can't sell it. But in most cases, with these items, for me anyway, a lot of the stuff I can sell for parts. So there's some decrease in value, but it's not as significant as say electronics or some other lots that I've purchased in the past. So I'm gonna go with the standard here and put about a 10% loss. You know, 1 out of 10 items are completely garbage or have to be recycled. And you know what? It's probably a little bit, because of the loss in what I'm going to get a discount and selling stuff for parts and repair, I'm going to make it 15 just for the purpose of this lot. And I'm pretty sure that's how I factored it when I purchased this lot. Now, granted, you guys have to remember, I've already bought this lot. It is in shipping right now, so I've already paid for it and everything. And what I can do is I can do another video, so make sure you subscribe. I can do a video of when that product comes in and unbox it and then start to show you how we're going to sell it. So, and the last thing is the lower valued items. I did show you there are some low, cheaper items in this lot. For instance, this one here, that's $277. Now those, luckily, there's 38 of, so that won't be an issue. It's the ones that there's really only like 1 or 2 of them that are less than $5. So, you know, in the case of this one, it's shown that there's 1, but if you look, these are all the same item. It's just instead of putting quantity of 10, they just scanned them all individually. So those I could probably lot up as well. Same thing with these. I may be able to recover some money there. 3 of these. I'm going to put 10%. That's pretty much the minimum. I don't think this lot's going to be too bad. Most of the items are, if you look, like here's $20. The amount that are below 20 is not that many. And there's a good bit above, with the majority of them being these 2 items right here. And then this one, of course. So I'm going to say about 10% loss due to low value items. And we'll see what that puts us at. That would help if I put the right percentage. All right, there we go. That's much better. So when it's all said and done, there's a $1,200 loss of the retail value for the actual resale value. Then I'm saying about another $517 discount because the items are either going to be used or open box or full parts repair. Then another 15% for loss or damage. The combination of these two really is what I'm doing the math on. So you could flip it either way. You could say 15 here and 10 there will give you the same amount. But basically I'm losing 25% for open box, parts repair, or items that I can't even sell. So that's another way to do it, is take these 2 categories and think them in your head and then split it up. Or you could do like, you could put 25 here and 0 here and you'll get the same amount. And then lastly, excuse me, the discount for the low value items, another $500 off. So when looking at this lot, I was thinking I wanted to purchase it around 13% of the retail value is what I wanted to buy it at. And the estimated purchase price is $689. So when I'm making my bid, I'm looking at what does shipping cost. Well, if shipping is $200, if I take $200 off of this, that leaves me with $489. Now, obviously, there's some other fees, taxes. Some cases you may have a not a finder's fee, but a like a 10% buyer's premium that they put on. Sorry, loss of words there. So you got to consider that as well. But a lot of times those fees, you know, you're talking $50 to $100. It's not going to make or break your profit. In this case, it would bring it down a little bit, but so, and you can also make up for that in some of the overhead fees and shipping. So this is just to kind of get you started. This is more for beginners and give you an understanding of how liquidators figure out what to buy the lots for. Or I shouldn't say liquidators, liquidation buyers. This is more so what they're looking at, and what you'll find is for like different websites or different places you buy from, these percentages will change. The more and more you buy from them, you'll know this percent. On average, looking at these lots, okay, on average I know 13% is what I want to be at. So you can just do the math and you don't need to calculate it. But in the beginning, I would recommend you try to do your research and use something like this. And then lastly, you'll see at a $689 purchase price, $689 fees, potential profit $689 for this lot. Now with this lot, it's going to be pretty easy. The majority of the items, like I said, are these two. They're most likely these two items will be brand new, probably a little bit of damaged packaging, but it's not likely that let me see here, 90 people returned the same item and they happen to go in the same lot. Normally as items come in as returns, they get bundled up and sold off. They don't normally store them and say, okay, we know there's a bunch of this specific items coming as a return. Let's keep saving them until we get a lot of them. So this is probably a shelf pull or maybe a damaged pallet or damaged carton, or it could be a product they're not carrying any longer. And then the rest of the items here, this is gonna be a very quick, probably 1 day to process and list. Not a ton of work involved, and a potential of, you know, almost $700 profit. So that should give you a pretty good idea of how a good way to use a calculator like this. Later at the end of the video, I'll go through and just show these formulas and what they are in case anyone wants to create this herself. And I'll have more information about that. One last thing I want to touch on, guys, is one of the biggest reasons liquidation buyers are willing to pay more of a percentage than you may think. Like the standard is like 10 to 20% is where most people are trying to buy at. So, you know, a $10,000 lot, you're looking to buy $1,000 to $2,000. Well, every once in a while you might say, well, why did someone pay 30% or 40%? And the main reason for that is going to be this first column here. This first one you have to input a factor of. There are some cases where you can get liquidation lots where the item itself sells more on eBay. You know, maybe the item's discontinued, you can't get it any longer. It used to be a $49.95 item, but now it's $79.95 or $99.95 even. So there's a actual gain to be made in this column. Other times there'll be sites like, for instance, Costco. A lot of times what they sell an item for, since it's a discount club, is about the going rate on eBay. You know, a pair of Lucky jeans at Costco is $29, and on eBay they're selling for about 30 bucks. So that kind of gives you a explanation as to why you'd see people paying more. And in that case, you know, this might be a 0 or a negative number, but if I put 0 in here for a Costco lot, because I think I can actually, the value is on eBay is actually what Costco says the MSRP is, you can see how that changes everything to now I'm paying more than 20%. I'll be willing to pay 22%. And really, for a lot of times, there's not as much loss or open box. So this might be a combination of 10 here and 10 here. And also a lot of times you can almost sell everything in the lot. So that might only be a 5% lot. Now you're seeing I'm willing to pay up to 25% for a lot. And that's why sometimes you'll see buyers paying more. Don't be too fooled by that though. There are a lot of new people out there that are buying lots just to do like mystery boxes, or they really want one specific item that's in the lot, so they're willing to pay more to get it. And there's some beginners out there that just aren't sure how to purchase liquidation. But I'm telling you, if you practice patience, you go use this calculator. I'll show the formulas later on, but you can also get this in my the guide that I've produced. So I have a bunch of resources. This is one of the resources that comes with the guide. So if you're new to liquidation, you're thinking about buying your first lot, I highly recommend my guide to buying liquidation products for beginners, and I'll put the link to that down in the description. So you can get it on sale right now, and it comes with this liquidation lot estimator. So you'll get the guide as well as a zip file with some of the resources. And it's 22 pages full of information, some information about me, my backstory, how I got into eBay and liquidation items, as well as why I think liquidation is going to continue to grow and grow and grow, and it's a great market to get into. And then finally, it talks about where I buy from, the links to where I buy from. It's very helpful. I've sold quite a few copies and I'm getting a lot of great feedback. So if you consider, it will help support the channel. I'll have the link down in the bottom there, and that might save you some time from trying to create a list like this. Or once you get familiar with buying from certain places, you might just know that, hey, from this specific company, I want to be at like 15% of the retail value, and that's as much as I want to pay. So anyhow, thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. If you wouldn't mind, please consider subscribing. Give this video a thumbs up. It'll help the channel out a lot. And please check back in. We'll be doing more videos, more tips and tricks on buying liquidation. And I hope you guys are out there making some money and having a good time doing it. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off. If you're interested, I'm going to slowly walk through the liquidation lot estimator in case you just want to create one for yourself, just to give you an idea. So anyhow, cheers, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.